Welcome back on the AM show. Time now for us to get into our big stories. But even as we segue into that, this has been the latest as far as that IGP leaked tape is concerned. We won't treat in-camera hearings with kids' gloves or kid gloves. Lawyers for IGP Akufo-Dampare have set the stage for a continuation of investigations into that leaked IGP tape as they accuse the chairman of Parliament's ad hoc committee, Samuel Atachia, of embarking on a sinister agenda against their client. Let's give you some scoop as far as the accusers of the IGP who are submitting evidence. And now lawyers for Dr. Dampare are putting forward that accusation. There was an interaction. Let's take a look at what happened before we come into the studio.
The chairman is operating as if he is a sole commissioner, and we are going to use all necessary legal means at the hearing not to accept this.
What do you think is the motivation of the chairman, per your allegation?
He has his own agenda.
And what is this agenda?
He will disclose it. He has been granting interviews. Normally, what was happening was that any time after the proceedings, when we are quiet and we go home quietly, he would gather the press and grant interviews, to the extent that after one sitting, he went out there and said the extended tape which was submitted by Bugri Nabu had been doctored. A tape which has not been played for all of us to hear. He says it has been doctored. Very prejudicial comments all over. So, in the past, we thought that, because of respect for Parliament and the institution and the persons on the committee, I dropped my guns in most cases, but I'm going to do what lawyers do going forward. The chairman is talking, so I also have to talk.
So what is going to happen tomorrow? Are you saying that you would not make your client available for the continuation of the in-camera hearing?
No, my client will make himself available. Why not? He respects the institutions of state. He will make himself available. But I'm the lawyer for my client, and I will protect my client's interests to the best of my ability. This is my oath as a lawyer.
We understand the accusers of your clients have some evidence. In fact, they have witnesses in which they've written to the committee to grant them protection for them to come and testify. Are you aware of that?
Yes, we have heard. But witnesses to come and testify about what? To come and say that the voices on the tape were not authentic, to come and say that there was no conspiracy to remove the IGP. Witnesses to come and say what? It is the tape. And we would resist any attempt by the chairman or the committee to bring any extraneous persons to come and testify. We would resist. The committee is a number of people on that committee, and it looks like it is the chairman's committee. We'll see how the other members also would react tomorrow, whatever submissions we are going to make tomorrow. But we are not going to go ahead with kids' gloves in the subsequent proceedings. We would not.
Are you ready for a showdown?
I won't say showdown. This one will be a show up.
You are going for a show up?
Showdown has been abused and battered. I would rather use show up.
Between you and the committee chairman? I
am expecting anything tomorrow. Trust me, I am expecting anything.
Meaning you are not going to miss words at all?
No. Tomorrow, and given the dynamics, tomorrow we are going out there properly prepared as lawyers, and we will do what lawyers do.
Well, tough talk from Kwame Jan, lawyer Kwame Jan. It appears we have quite a number of my former lecturers who are going to be interacting with me. Kwame Jan taught me at some point. But he talks about the fact that his team, joining me in the studio, by the way, we have Samuel Mbura. He put all of this together. He is on our political desk. Samuel Mbura, he talks about extraneous evidence, that they are not going to allow any such, sneaking in of evidence. He says it's not going to be a showdown. They are going to show up. And that they are going to do what lawyers are expected to do, what lawyers do. In other words, they're not going to mince words, they're going to go hard.
Exactly.
As far as this in-camera session is concerned.
Exactly.
But you've covered the previous sessions.
Yeah.
What can we expect as far as these in-camera sessions? How long will they last before we even get to the substance of the meeting?
We know that the first one was a public hearing. We had so many witnesses appearing, and the last in-camera session we covered had to do with the National Security Minister, Mr. Albert Kandapa, who appeared before the committee. You know, the reason he appeared had to do with the fact that when the whole issue came to the media domain, they had already started investigations into it. So some of the witnesses appeared before the National Investigation Bureau. That's why they invited him to also come and testify. So the National Security Minister appeared before the committee.
Right.
He gave his evidence, but he didn't tender in their findings because he said the document was classified. If it were to be a declassified one, I could have shared with them. So he just shared with them the details that they've gathered about the investigations. However, he didn't tender that in as document in evidence for the committee to proceed with it. So the public hearing is done. Now what we are going into is a full-blown in-camera hearing. It starts today, ends on Saturday. So the committee...
That's like how many days? 5 days?
5 days.
Right.
So from today 10 till Saturday, around 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., they're expected to conclude their work and then subsequently submit their report. So if nothing comes across, the committee is expected to end this work this coming Saturday.
It looks as though it were going to be explosive. You know why? Because the last time, I think it was COP...
Alex
Mensah.
Retired.
You had retired. You had an interaction with, you remember, the one where he was walking out of Parliament and he made some promises. Yeah. And then now we hear from lawyer Kwame Jan. I foresee that is going to be explosive from, I don't know what you're feeling.
The reason he referenced the extraneous witness is that he said for the documents, you know, there was actually an invitation that was extended to them for the in-camera hearing. And that invitation stated that he's supposed to appear with his client, that's the IGP, which he has confirmed that the IGP will be coming for that hearing. And then they will testify or listen to what the accusers have against him. Then he would answer to that. Mr. Kwame Jan revealed that attached to the invitation given them was a document, court document, that the committee has added, bringing in external, what he referenced as extraneous witnesses, people whose names were not mentioned in the leaked tape, but they are bringing them in. They think that these are foreign materials. They think that the committee is done with its work after establishing the faces behind the audio recording and the people accepting that they were those captured in it. So they are of the view that the committee is even extending its boundaries. That's why he says that the chairman, he's accusing the chairman of just embarking on an agenda against their client. The reason he's more than less widening the scope of the investigation.
And we can talk about, you know, the status of the committee or even court processes or the processes that a committee like this would follow. They are bound by what evidence is adduced at a point in time with such evidence or whoever is going to be called as a witness, with the other side privy to all of that information before, just like you would find in a court process. So any such extraneous, you know, events. And I remember at a point when this was raised, Samuel Atachia mentioned that they would never surprise the other side with anything that they are not aware of. So now it's quite a tricky, it's hanging in a balance, this entire situation. The new witnesses, so-called, and the other documents to be adduced. But is it justified, you know, the outburst of lawyer Kwame Jan? Because is there confirmation? What I mean is there confirmation that there are going to be such pieces of evidence or documents or witnesses
I have a document that was written by the lawyers for one of the accusers of the IGP, Superintendent George Asari. And then in that letter, which actually found its way to the media, his lawyers were not happy that these witnesses have been exposed.
Right.
Because we've written the letter to the committee. How did the letter get to the public?
I remember that saga.
Yeah, if you are sharing it with other witnesses involved, their legal team, fine. But how did it get its way to the media? Because it exposes their clients to risks and then threats. That's what they claimed. And in that letter that they wrote to the committee to invite witnesses to testify, they indicated, I wouldn't mention the names, 2 civilians. One is coming to testify the award of a contract to, the alleged award of a contract to Bugri Nabu and the payments of kickbacks by Dr. Akufo-Dampare, allegedly. the role played by Bugri Nabu during the period leading to the appointment of Dr. Akufo Dampare as the IGP, unauthorized monthly payment allegedly by Dr. Akufo Dampare to Bugri Nabu. This is what the civilians are coming to testify. There's one senior officer, name withheld, he's based in Accra here, and then he is testifying on the conversion of the Police Intelligence Directorate into a personal unit of Dr. Akufo Dampare. These were part of the allegations that were captured in the leaked IGP tape. So these three witnesses are those that the lawyers are presenting or tendering in as evidence to come and testify on their case. And that these are the extraneous, witnesses that lawyer Kwame Jan referred to, that their names were not mentioned. So what business do they have? Is it the case they are coming to authenticate the tape, or what at all are they coming to say concerning the probe? So that is why he's raising concerns about it.
Interesting times that have arisen, and today you'll definitely be in the precincts of Parliament trying to sift out what information you can, and maybe following from there, we'll see what happens.
Surely.
Samuel Mbura joining me, my colleague in the studio. He is on our political desk, and he will be on the beat today, bringing us more information on that saga. But stay with us, because up next we have a discussion bordering on interestingly, borders. Ghana has presented the ratified instruments of the African Union Convention on Cross-Border Cooperation to the African Union Commission at a ceremony at the AU Commission headquarters in Addis Ababa. We'll bring you details of that as we engage Major General Emmanuel Kotia. Do stay for that conversation up next.